Welcome to the writings of Patrick S. Smith.
Hello, all. Been an interesting couple of weeks for me. Haven't smoked since June 22nd, 23rd, and here we are in, a month later, and I really don't want a cigarette, but, and I haven't killed anybody. So, making progress. Been an interesting last couple weeks for me because I did overtime the week before and got a lot accomplished, and then went back to my regular schedule and don't feel like I got that much accomplished. Try to figure that one out for you. I finally did get the first draft of A Dog in Death done. There's parts in it I really need to go back and tear into and rewrite, but I think as far as the emotional arc and some of the elements I wanted in there, they are there. So it's just other elements in there. They're there. We'll just leave it at that. They're not very good. So, but I think if somebody was beta reading it, they'd get the gist of what I was trying to do and be able to work around, critique around that. So, but with the first draft of A Dog in Death behind me, I have actually been able to locate a couple beta readers for naming the Cirrus and starting to get some feedback on that. So hopefully, I can get it cleaned up based on them and get that finalized and have it set aside. Also, with not working on a project I really went through and just sat down and realized I got a lot on my plate as far as trying to get stories finished, because it's like I took a quick glance in trying to do some of the edits and revisions to hunting or Finding the Angel and Hunting for Helen, the next two for the Alexandrian series. Obviously, now I've got A Dog in Death to go back and revise. Marionette and The Wish have gone through a set of revisions. The Wish has got be a little bit more difficult than Marionette, though I think Marionette is going to have some big changes to it once I get it to a beta reader to look it over. But those are still, second draft type situations right now, and beta readings well down the road on that. And then the last three I've been working on would have been Stains from a Chicken Salad Sandwich, Returning Home, and After a Ghostly Millennium, I Am Heard. I'm going to have to go back through and do another audio reading of them and sit down and listen, because I feel like Stains is about as good as it's going to get. So I may be going out and getting beta readers for it just to see where the new version lines up at. And Returning Home is about there also. After Ghostly Millennium, that one it's probably going to need another round or two edits. But as I've mentioned before, when talking about going back and revising previously done stories, it's more just to clean them up. Since my skill set as a writer has grown, take advantage of it. Get these stories to where they could be, versus leaving them where they're at. So there's that. Also, right after I finished and was filing away a Dog in Death, I came across another death story that I'm going to have to go back and fix. I forgot I had started it. I've had the idea and some lines floating around in my head, just didn't realize I had sat down and started it. It is A Gift from Death, or Death's Gift. I don't remember the exact title now, but so at least there's another one already in the pipe. I just got to break it free and sit down and fully drafted, because I didn't even see how far it was, other than it's more than a couple pages. So we'll see where it's more than notes. So we'll see with that. But I've got like a dozen projects in the works. I need to get that cut down some because I haven't touched Amber in a hot minute. I have not really touched the bizarre case of Jeffrey Gobbler in a hot minute. So I'd like to get those done, and then I have other ideas popping into my head, and a visit from the poetry muse because I've drafted a few new poems and went back and revised a couple, and then ideas for others start floating around that you got to kick out. So, and they're ranging from, oh, these are quote unquote throwaways where I'll write them, I'll post them someplace and let them be until I get around to collating a second poetry anthology. Whereas others I'm going to see about getting published. Because I did submit 2 poems last week. And so one of them was a weird way that you did it. Because normally poetry submissions, you submit the poem to the editor, and the editor is either a yay or nay. Not this one. This was more like submitting a short story or actual novel, because had to do a quick summary. Doing a summary on a poem, huh? But anyway, was able to do that, and actually the next day I got feedback saying, hey, we want to see this. So, okay, I'll take that. That's the win. Regardless of anything else, that's a win. So there is that going on. And I am also currently beta reading Fire and Dreams by Cecilia Agton, and I do hope I pronounced your name right. It is a YA novella, so this is kind of a new territory for me because I don't think I ever read young adult. Even when I was a young adult, I was always more into the H.G. Wells and J.R.R. Tolkien and Moorcock, Wise and Hickman, even Alexander Dumas. Always, much more mature type work. So I don't think I ever read anything young adult. I wouldn't call Charlotte's Web young adult, which I would still sit down and read that. That is a good book. But maybe because I was more interested in watching cartoons. That served me well. It's given me a lot of voices to work with. May also be why I have 27 personalities running around in my head. But yeah, and so far though, I have liked Cecilia's story. It's, as I mentioned before when doing beta readings, there's rough spots. It's nowhere near show ready. That's always the case with that's almost always the case with a beta story. But I like to look at the bones and the structure, what they're trying to get at. And she's got. I like this. This looks like would be a fun read for anybody. But I'm still very early into it. In a week's time, I've only managed 2 chapters, just because I keep getting distracted, and I don't know if I'm still feeling burnout from the other week when I did OT, or this week just being kind of so weird. Yeah, I haven't made much progress, so that's on me. I'm hoping, though, get this done, get her some good feedback on it, because at least as far as I'm in, there's potential, really, for it to be a fun story for any age. Which, if that's the case, I really envy her for that. Honestly, I've never tried, so can't say that I can't do it, but just to be able to pull it off, whether intended, unintended, is just one of those rare moments. That's why I mentioned earlier Charlotte's Web. That has always been a good read. Last time I read it I was 25 or 26. So it doesn't lose. It's just, like I said, a fun read. So now I'm starting to ramble, so it is time to cut this off. Don't forget, My Time Among the Elves is coming out October 11th. You can go ahead and pre-order copies now through Amazon and Barnes & Noble. I think I saw it listed at Walmart. If that's your cup of tea, I'm keeping an eye out, trying to keep an eye out for where it's popping up at. I'm also on Substack and Ko-fi if you're interested in the newsletter along with the blog. You want to help support me in my writing, buy my books, or you can go drop $1 in the jar over at Ko-fi. So and be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. You can find more of my books on Amazon.com. Also, you can find more of my stories and poems at patricksmithauthor.wordpress.com. The links are in the description. Thank you.